trust building games. That's what we're going to talk about in this video. So on the trust topic, I'm often asked, what are some games you can do? What are some things we can do to build trust on our teams? And games just sound fun, right? What can we do for games to drive that? There's different kind of things we can do. And I'm not saying that we do poker as being one of those games. There's a card game called Questions for Humans, where you can actually go in and ask these kind of questions like which fashion trend needs to die and stuff like that to get people's perspectives. And when people start joking around, building relationships, they're going to build trust. So games are kind of fun things you can do to build trust. That's a great little card game that I highly recommend for your groups when you're just sitting around lunch to do those kind of fun things to learn about each other. Now, as your manager, I would recommend that manager or leader actually be studying their employees, not to leverage them, but to learn about them. So use the CRM, the customer relationship management tool that your company has, especially for the sales team, for the customers. You should do that for your employees, just to learn about them, their family, what they like to do for fun, so you guys can build common ground. Because like in sales, we also need to learn about our employees so we can build influence and trust with them. So those are things we can do. We want to do like those card games. We can do escape rooms, which is basically a big game of puzzles to work with our teams to function through and move through the tasks together, where people are finding different kind of clues and unlocking things together and communicating. That's a big thing, communication. And when people can communicate well, that's how you start building trust together. So do escape rooms, which takes people off site as well, gets them out of the office so they can start building bonds that way. Because the more that they build bonds and have fun together and joke together, they're going to build trust. And when we have high trust in our organizations, costs go down because speed goes up. What does that mean? More profits. So those are some trust building games you can do. What are some other things? Well, there can be like Pictionary you can do all these different kind of games for team building. A lot of people do the trust fall thing, which is okay, but it doesn't really get people to understand the other person that they're working with. It's just showing, I can trust you to catch me. But there's different things you can do. There's Operation Adventure games, where you actually take people and hang them from a 40-foot ceiling on a ropes course, where they're doing things together to help encourage themselves. There's outdoor ones, there's indoor ones. Those are kind of fun too. But there's, in those Operation Adventures, they also have where you got to line people up alphabetically without anybody speaking. Well, that's great, because if you have a whole bunch of new employees that don't know everybody's names, that's going to be chaotic, but fun because everybody's going to joke around afterwards. And there's tons of different kind of games. I would highly recommend looking up Operation Adventure team building games, such as trying to cross like a river with 2 planks of wood that have to connect stuff. There's tons of different activities you can do. But the main purpose that you need to be doing is building a culture of trust with each other. And talking like we're not going to gossip, we're not going to water cool talk about the other person because they shared something or whatnot. It has to be an environment of trust where we're telling people whatever's shared here stays here. We don't gossip about people. We want to help them grow. And there's some organizations that will actually fire people for water cool gossip talk. It's interesting, but they have a high trust environment at their company. So we want to make sure that we're building high levels of trust. And now I do tons of talks on the trust equation and the different areas of kind of trust. Like your personal space, you have to have higher levels of trust, which is why you have higher levels of trust with your significant other. As opposed to the people you work with, you're probably not going to be making out with them or in very close proximity with them, but they still have to have some higher levels of trust than just kind of walking down the street where people are in like a 12-foot radius. So I do a lot of talks on that and help people. But we need to be working together and finding those kind of games. And that's on the leader to really go find those kind of games. So card games that helps people discuss different topics. We can do Operation Adventure. We can do escape games. Things that get people outside of the office. And they're a little bit different than like cornhole, because cornhole is not really building up anything of trust, more of a competition. So we need to make sure that we understand whatever game we're doing is one to build the trust, not just competition. Now you can build trust in the competition, but you have to set that up, and that gets kind of complex, which we can share in a different video. But whatever it is you're doing, the core focus needs to be on communication, trust values, and learning about each other. Those three categories and areas will actually help you grow your trust. Now, if you need any more help on this, feel free to reach out. Contact information is below. If this video is helpful, hit like, share, subscribe. Send to somebody you think it might benefit. That's why I do these videos, to help you. We'll see you next time.